door panel here, and we reuse, our door reuses the OEM frame, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So we use a T30 socket here. It's like a star. Take this bolt out. This one out. Take this one out right here. Now we need a 10mm wrench here. Okay. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we gotta drill out this rivet on the bottom. So get a pair of safety glasses and a 3/16 drill bit. So what's happening here is it's moving just a little bit. So we're gonna create a little bit of a wedge here. There it goes. And so it just pops it right out. Now we should be able to pull that off. Just slide it forward here. This, stick it out. And then what we're gonna do is knock that rivet up in there. Then if you gotta get a little punch, you can push it the rest of the way. And actually, you may not even want to do that because it's just going to be bouncing around in there. You may just want to leave it hanging in there. So the next thing we're going to do is drill this strap rivet out because we're going to need this area. Okay, same thing with that. We're going to put a little wedge in there. There it goes. And then that is going to pop, we're going to pop that out. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Okay, so now we're ready to reinstall our product. Okay, so we removed the OEM door skin, and now we're just gonna make this hole here a little bigger. So get like a 6mm or 6.5mm or a 1/4 inch drill bit, and then drill this out right here. If you go a little big, it's not gonna hurt it. It's just gonna give you more adjustment on your door, and you'll see here in the next video, part of it. Okay, so now we're gonna take the door handle, we're gonna push it into the door frame here. We're gonna flip it upside down here. Then we're gonna put the nylock nuts on here. Go ahead and tighten those down. And this door handle will have a little bit of a gap right there. That's okay. It's made to go on an automotive style door frame that has a little bit of a contour, but don't try to, if you try to seal that up, you could damage it. So that's just the way it is. So, okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the weather stripping on here. So we have a longer piece of weather stripping, and you can see right here where it starts. So just go ahead and push it on right here and then go all the way around the bottom of the window frame or the door frame. There, we're gonna go ahead and just trim it here. Figures I'd do it short. So do a better job than I just did with that. So anyway, and then the next part is this right here. These holes are here for a reason. This is where our upper window panel mounts to. But if you didn't buy the upper panel, this is called the trim kit. And so all you're doing is just taking this and putting it on there just to give it a nicer finish, you know, just so you don't see all the holes. So let's flip it over and put the nuts into there. Okay, so I put the two button head cap screws here, and then I'm gonna tighten these up here, or put these in here, and then I'm gonna start going around and tightening them up here. I've got a M4 Allen wrench here. Probably need a, yeah, we'll need a M10 wrench for there, but these are all tapped, so we can tighten these up here. And then even though that these bolts here are threaded into this plate, I'm still keeping this on there because I don't want them to spin and crack the powder coat. It's just it's for looks. So, and that's it. So, let's pass them here. All right. Okay, so now we're doing the vent kit, and we'll start with the one that's out here on the single one first. And so the first thing we're going to do is put the button head cap screw through this side of the door, and then we're going to put the plastic washer on here, and then we're going to put this vent, and then we're going to put another plastic washer, and then we're going to put our rubber seal washer. This acts as a spring, so it's going to go on here like this, and then we're going to do a nylock nut. So okay, and then on the other side over here, it's kind of a little bit more difficult, but we're going to do the button head cap screw, the rubber washer, the plastic washer, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to go through this one like this, and then we're going to put the plastic washer underneath. And then we're gonna put the bolt through the hole, and then we're gonna do the nylock nut. So you're just gonna have to kind of hold it there, and then you just pull this up a little bit to where you can slide that nylock nut under it. Right there it goes. And then you just start tightening it up. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's just a tight clearance area. It's not the worst. So then you've got this one right here, same thing. You're gonna lift it up, put the plastic washer underneath it, push it down in here, and then you're going to use the nylock nut underneath here. You can feel it underneath there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it goes. Sorry. Okay. So then we've got that. Now what we're gonna do is you can hold your wrench underneath here. Put it underneath there, get it going onto there. And get it seated on the nut. Oops. There it goes. Okay. Come on, baby. There it goes. Now I'm on there. So it takes a second to get it lined up, but then it goes good. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to snug this one down here, and then we're going to check the movement. You don't want it to be flopping around. You want it to have just enough pressure like this. And like I said, see how that goes like that? That's not tight enough, so let's go a little bit tighter. Now it doesn't do that as bad. So now it's got, it feels like it's got good tension on each. See, this one's still a little bit loose. There we go. Nice. So that's it. It's all kind of preference on how tight or how loose you want it. But that's really it. The only thing we've got to do now is put this top weather stripping on here, but we'll wait and get it on the unit and see where it hits and where we want it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now you want to grab a helper, and then we're going to hold the panel up here, and we're going to put it right on the OEM frame. You can see right there where the bolts kind of line up and go through, where the holes. So put that there. Oops. Okay, so got that one started. Okay, got that one started. Oops, I can get it started here. All right, and then we'll tighten down. So these are carriage bolts. So if you just put pressure on the outside, this one here is super close to there. So you got to use a wrench on this one. Okay, so now that we got done with that one here, we'll go ahead and tighten the other ones up with the impact wrench. Okay, now we're gonna put this button head bolt through here. Oops, got a little bit here. The nylock nut on it. Okay, so now we're gonna install the door linkage and the internal handle. So we're gonna pull this little green piece out that comes on that door. And then this essentially goes like this and like this. So we're gonna put the, oops, I got too much in my hand here. So then we push this through here, the nylock nut on the back. Okay. And we can kind of pull this up out of the way here. Okay, and then we have the lower one here, and it just goes on the outside like this. We can put the screw this way, and the nut on the inside, like this. Okay, now we're gonna snug everything down. This bottom one here. Just a 10mm wrench and a 4mm Allen. And then this one in here, we're just gonna snug it down. We're not gonna get it too tight. Be nice if I get that nylock to engage there. It's not engaged yet. There it goes. Okay, so then once it's good, you'll see that it lifts it up and works. So right now it's too tight, so we'll loosen it a little bit and get it to work. So just play around with it and get everything seated right, but the nylock nuts have to be engaged to be able to work. So let's check it out, what it looks like here. Let's make sure it's open. Cool. So we've got good action on it. We don't have to do any more adjusting. And we can see that we have to put a little bit of the weather stripping here. So we'll go ahead and finish that up. And then we'll wrap this up. Okay. Okay, so we got the linkage working properly. We put the weather seal here so it's all clean. We got a little bit of gap here on the bottom. You know, it's aluminum, so you can just bend it a little bit like that. It'll stay a little tighter. So yeah, I mean, that's essentially completes the install and it's ready to ride. Okay, so that completes the installation. We've got the linkage of the door handle all working properly. The fit is great. If the door's sagging at all you got to do is loosen these bolts back here and adjust the pivot point a little bit. It is just aluminum, so if it sticks out or whatever, just go ahead and give it a little bit of force, bend it in a little bit, but it's ready to rock and roll.